Today we're going to start learning a series of halachas for the next few days. We're going to probably what kind of schoir of merchandise you're allowed to sell and what kind of merchandise you're not allowed to sell. But that kashrus. Some things it's not only the prohibition of eating. There's also prohibition to deal with that. So I'm going to start with the Mishnah in Maseches Shvi'is. The Mishnah says like this. I'm only reading what nageh to us. She'en oisim schoire beperes shvi'is, even though you're allowed to eat peres shvi'is, and the 7th year you go to the field of somebody, eat the fruits, but you're not allowed to pick up fruits and to start selling them, making business with them. V'loi benevelos v'lo betreifos. You cannot make business with nevelos, with treifos that you cannot eat, you cannot sell them. V'loi b'shkotzim v'lo b'remosim. Anything, all those inyanim that you're not allowed to eat them, you cannot make business with them. So the Bartanura says over there, like this. V'chol dover she'issurei min haTorah, anything that isur de'oraisa, like treif, chazir, or shkotzim v'remosim, anything that you're not allowed, the Torah says don't eat it. So it says osur lasas b'schoira, you cannot make business with it. Aval dover she'issurei midivreim, anything that's isur d'rabanan, as we're going to see, cholav akum, it's isur d'rabanan. We'll talk about it already today. It might be a little bit more worse than Isur D'Rabbanan, but Al Kaponim, the original Chol of Akum is Isur D'Rabbanan. It says, "En osur lasas b'schoira." You're not anything Isur D'Rabbanan you're allowed to buy and sell. There's one exception to it. Aval stam yainon. Davagav the Isur midivrem osur las b'schoira. The only exception is Isur D'Rabbanan. You're not allowed to do business with it. It's stam yainon, regular wine of a goy, even though it's not necessarily yain nesech. You're not allowed to do business with it.
A Jew can't own a liquor store.
A
Jew can't own an non-kosher liquor store.
Well, if it could own a liquor store, but not make some things out of wine.
I guess he can't.
Right. You could sell other the things, nothing to do with stam yain, but yeah. Now, I just want to tell you what we're about to cover the next few days. If you're allowed to buy stocks in a company that sells treif. If there is such a company, let's say they specialize selling treif, if you're allowed to buy stock over there, because you cannot deal with it, maybe you cannot be part of it. Are you allowed to buy for your goyish worker that works by you food that's not kosher for him? We're talking about not kosher isura de'oraisa, like you want to buy for him hamburger, not kosher. Could you buy this for your worker? You're not going to do that. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to be today? Is very practical. Many people drive for different companies, Uber, Lyft, and other companies. They deliver food, and most of the food they buy is going to be treif. Are you allowed to be a driver in those companies where you deliver not kosher food that osur midoraisa? The last thing I'm going to mention, again, we're not covering all the answers today, but some of them. Are you allowed when you go fishing and you happen to fish non-kosher fish? What are you going to do with that fish? Throw it back, sell it. Obviously, you cannot eat it, but are you allowed to deal with it then? So all this we're going to try to cover. So it says like this. It says in the Tur, Kol advarim asurim min haTorah. That's exactly what we read in the Bartanura. Aval pi shemutorim b'hano. Even though you're allowed to benefit from them, that's not isura hana. It's only isura achila. Osur lasas b'hem schoira. And he quotes the Mishnah and the one we already read from Maseches Shvi'is. Now, Aval nizdavnu no letzayot chayav v'oif v'dogim tmeim. If somebody is a tzayod, meaning he's a hunter or is a fisherman, and happened to be he didn't go after non-kosher animals, but it came that he picked up some on the way non-kosher animals. It says, mutar lemochrom, you're allowed to sell them. Bilvach lo iskaven lekach. You're not going out to fish non-kosher fish. You're not going to hunt non-kosher. It's happened to me. You meant to do to hunt and to catch fish. Kosher came together with the kosher non-kosher. Then you're allowed to get rid of it. But to make a business out of it, that's you're not allowed to do. And same thing, a shoichet or a slaughterhouse. they're trying to make kosher, but comes out once in a while comes a treif meat, that you're allowed to get rid of it. But to make business out of non-kosher meat, that you're not allowed to do. Okay, so here we're going to cover today legabe, if you're allowed to buy for your worker, you're not doing business with it. You just want to go buy him lunch. Are you allowed to buy him a treif sandwich? So the Beis Yosef brings him had the Hagoes Maimon that's on the Rambam. Nira shekol dover she issurei divrei Torah, any issur that's divrei Torah, kshem she'osu lasas boschoira, sending you're not allowed to do business with it, buy and sell non-kosher meat. Kach osur liknoisoi, you cannot buy the likno la'akum. You cannot buy a sandwich to a goy. Let's say, see a homeless man, you cannot buy him a sandwich, non-kosher sandwich, give it to him because it's
not
part.
kosher. You could treif. You can.
Treif. Thank you. Talking about the non-kosher, I meant treif. The isur the rice again. Anything that's isur the rice over there, you cannot buy for him. כשם שאוסור לקנות כך ליתנו לעכם ונראה לי הטעם, he says משום דמתונה כבר מכר הוא, because matona it's like mechira, giving him present, it's like buying and selling, so mainly you're not allowed to do it. If you would not have any benefit, you would not give him anything also. You give it to him because you have some kind of benefit from it. You could say, argue, but by a homeless man, maybe there's no benefit over there. That's not your worker. Maybe over there it's different. But we cannot do that. So now we're going to go to the Shulchan Aruch. So we're going to see over there. So it's like this. The reason you're not allowed to, what's the reason you're not allowed to do business if it's mutar bahanoah, there's issurei achila midoraisa, mutarim bahanoah. Why? So the Shach brings two reasons. Atam, shema yovel lo'echol mehen, you might eat from them. Let's remember the reason because later on we're going to use them to see how that applies today and in some cases. You might eat for them. Avol, im ena moichel letzorich achila, let's say you're selling things that's not food. Let's say you're selling a treif fat, and people using them not for food, it meant to use them for machinery or for anything else that's not for food. He says, lekel migzar. There's no gezeira over there. If you know that food known is not going to for food, that fat, non-kosher fat, that's going for other uses like machinery or use them for shoes as a shoe polisher. She says. Because if it's an edible item, you could say you might eat it, that's also. But since it's not edible item, there's no gezeira over there.
Also, what if you pay for a non-Jewish employee's meal? You never see the meal.
Very good. Paying is no problem. Very good. Nakuda. Paying them, giving them money, whatever they want to buy, they could buy. But buying for them the sandwich, it's also.
But what about buying? You give them your credit card. They're using your credit card.
That doesn't make a difference. The whole idea is when it goes through your hands, you might eat from it. Over here, that gezerah doesn't apply. He brings another reason, the Shach, why you're not allowed to deal with isurim that there's no issurei anoim midaraisa, only issurei achila basar treif. Why you're not allowed to deal with it? Inomi l'shema yovoy le'echal lo chayshinan. It says another reason. No, the first reason you might eat them will not choishes that. Why? The atu b'rshi askinan the lo mizdar lemechal isura. What? We're not dealing with Rishonim. Yerushalayim, he's not going to put in his mouth nothing not kosher. So what? You're going to say don't buy and sell or don't give your worker a treif of meat because you might eat. It's not a rasha. So what? Why take the Chachamim answer that? It says Ela tamu mishum da'aroye shesoicher b'dover ha'osur l'tzarech achila. Somebody going to see you buying and selling treif. Yachshav shekshem shesochron l'tzarech achila kachu oichel man. It's only maris ha'ayin. People might think you're going to eat. If you're buying and selling, you might going to eat also. V'lochen mutar echad eno moichel la'achila. That's why I think which is not edible. Like we said, you're selling fat of an animal that not kosher, or for as a shoe polish, or you're selling it for machinery. They use the fat, let's say, as the oil for machinery. So he says, if you selling it, everybody knows. Some people may be selling for food. If it's known to be that's not bar achila, that would be allowed because there's no maris so ayin over here. Everybody knows it's not bar achila. Now the issur of selling dvorim that also mid the ra'isa, even though the Tosfos bring psukim for it, the Taz says all of them are asmachta. That's only isur drabonon. It's not isur. Again, it's good to know all those reasonings because through them we'll see how we're gonna apply it for different things. So it says what it says. Shuv, I'm reading from the Taz. Shuv reisi b'toras habayis. Shekosa b'shem Gilyon Tosfos. The ak droshu asmachta. The droshu the Tosfos bring. That's why you're not allowed to deal with those things. The treifos to sell them. It says only asmachta. It's not a real isur deraisa. Zekosu begilin atois very called shah. Shezacharti. Shekosu the isur schoire beelu have a deraisa. They're saying it's deraisa. The Tosfos says. Al zekosu agilion the love deraisa mamish komar. The emes ena lamid rabon the asmachta bal. There's some reference of remes and Torah for them, but it's really not isur deraisa. So according to this, comes out like this. You were not allowed to have any business. I'm not talking about today about how you do if you invest money in the stock market with a company that buys and sells treif. I'm not dealing today with the delivery people that deliver treif. We're going to deal with that. Right now, we're learning that Isur the rice.
Uber Eats.
Yes, the Uber Eats. We're going to deal with that another day. But right now, we establish al pi halacha that any isur the rice, you cannot have any business with it. Somebody cannot be in the business of buying, selling any treif the rice, and anything isur the rabbonon, like cholav akum, as we said, or buying and selling cheeses. It's not cholav Yisrael. You're in that business that you allow. That since it's isur the rabbonon or any other isur the rabbonon, that you allow to deal with it. There's no, we don't do rabbonon and rabbonon. And legabe giving a worker, buying him a food by yourself, buying a worker a food that's treif, that you should not do. You should not give it to him yourself, but you give him money to go buy. Even though there is a scenario that Taz brings, if your friend got stuck with a treif, if your friend, and he says, I'm al pi halach, when I'm stuck with it, I'm allowed to sell it. So he says, you're allowed to go and sell this, even a shliach, he says. If you could sell a shliach also, even though he might do business with it, he might sell it to somebody and make a profit, or you might give it to your worker. He says, again, but the pashtus, it's not so shliach. I don't want to elaborate on this, but pashtus, buying a sandwich to your worker goy, if it's treif, you should not do that, but you give him money to go buy it.
Somebody gives you